Bink. All right, we're back.
What's up? What's up?
It's an early morning episode.
It's raining right now, currently.
Yeah,
Weather is shit. I'm hungover.
I'm hung like I murdered everyone in the town square.
That's not the phrase that people use. Yeah, we had a good night last night, but it was good. I mean, good community, good family time. Just get sometimes a little too much at the bottle.
Yeah, the bottle will hurt you. It's like, what are you willing to give up for what? It's like you're squeezing the juice real hard. You're getting a lot out right now.
Yeah, but
For what?
the signs of it was time to go home were upon us earlier than when we left.
Yeah, it kind of stuck around.
We left an hour too late.
What do you think that is? We just didn't want to upset the guests?
Well, I mean, the conversation was good. With the stranger. You know, kind of a stranger for me at least.
Yeah, I've only met our friend Mitchell once or twice, but I never really got to talk to him. But it was good to. We were talking about raw milk, and had a little mini debate there. Got a little heated.
He's going to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah,
That's what he wants to do.
I
He's got
think
like
so.
2 more years of med school, I think.
Yeah, we need to bring him on the pod.
Yeah, good guy.
Some people think we're completely anti-doctor. But when I read what this study says, we are. Okay. All right, this medical study is called Medical Error, the third leading cause of death in the United States.
I know that.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
You know everything.
Medical malpractice.
The British Medical Journal, May 3rd, 2016, it basically says that it estimates that 250,000 deaths per year in the U.S. are due to medical error, which basically means misdiagnosis, medication errors, surgical mistakes, communication breakdowns, failure to act on test results, and systematic failures in care coordination. And it's basically hard to track because they don't put that as like when someone dies, they're like, oh, that was my fault.
Yeah, they're going to label it as something different. Well, that's something I learned, listening to Brigham Bueller talk a few different times on, Joe Rogan,
He's good.
Casey and Callie Means podcast. And he was kind of talking a little bit more about some of the challenges with like medical device sales, because that's kind of like a lucrative business. I feel like a lot of people are in that right now.
Yeah.
Which is just like,
what
it's
does that
kind of
mean?
a weird thing. It's like a race to get to the OR room to sell the doctor your tool that, they can use pretty much to scrape someone.
Like a scalpel.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
This is the best scalpel.
And so they get these
stuff.
the hottest girls to go, yeah, dude. I mean,
that's what they did with the Oxycontin.
Yeah, it's the same shit. You get these good-looking people to come in and like talk shop to these doctors who've already gotten the runaround. They're like, all right, what are you going to do for me?
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on. Let me Brigham Bueller.
Me
but he
too.
Was talking about how like 90% of these devices that end up being in the OR room like have never gone through any human stage trial before.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Testing on
med. Combine that with the medical error. It's like, shit, I'll let cancer get me first.
I already got it.
Okay, no, I don't.
God, ChatGPT, you stupid bitch.
She's tired. It's the morning.
She is tired.
So we want to just quickly thank all the listeners and viewers of the last couple episodes. We appreciate you guys getting us to 100 views on YouTube. It's a big milestone, so we'll try to keep that trend going. Hopefully you guys have liked the reels that have been coming out. I know I've had a couple people respond to my reels in a negative way. It hurts my feelings personally, but what can you do?
I can't.
It's just like when someone has a different political view of you and you criticize them as being uneducated. I mean, you're starting from that's like going into a debate and just slapping your opponent immediately.
Yeah.
In a way. Well, at least it feels like that. And then when you're spamming me with all this CNN articles saying that I'm not using the right information, and you're sending the AP, you're sending
BuzzFeed.
Yeah. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? It really feels like sometimes we live in two separate. Did you find something on there?
Yeah, I did, but finish your thought.
Like when I had that conversation with our acquaintance, it feels like we're living in two separate realities. Just based on like, we could have something happen. Like in the world, there's something that happens. Like DOJ is actually investigating fraud.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And there's a way that
indisputable.
There's like the way that she has like these lenses on her glasses that sees it one way, and then I have it on and it sees completely different. Where she thinks that it's like horrible for America, we're cutting off aid to all these huge programs that we need.
Yeah.
And then I see like 20 million in Iraq for Sesame Street. And I want to flip the Monopoly board.
I could go to paying my college tuition.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
What can I do?
I don't know. There must have been a split in the atom at some point recently.
And like the DNA of humanity?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you read the Celestial Prophecy book, or the Celestine Prophecy, they talk about civil mass, which is like this... It's just a mass awakening and a mass realization that something stronger than us is changing.
Whoa, I like this.
Yeah, you never read that book?
No, bring it up.
Yeah, it's a good book. I got it. One of my clients, probably 2 years ago, she suffered from a traumatic brain injury, and she really got into reading, and she recommended this book. We were kind of talking about kind of like predetermination and energy and all these different weird topics, and she's like, I think you would really like this book. And so it's based off, it's not a true story. I think it's like there's some truth and then there's some exaggeration, some dramatization, but pretty much these ancient scrolls exist in like Spain. Whoa. And this person is like on this discovery. They work within science, the science field in like the college realm. Just boring ass life, fucking pencil pusher. And so someone gives him like these scrolls, like these tips on these scrolls that he can go find and like really kind of discover like what the true meaning of life, the next civilization or the next stage of our life is going to look like. And so he goes kind of on this journey and starts realizing these things and has these really interesting conversations with these different people about civil mass, one of them being the energy field that you can get from plants, and you can watch plants grow, and you can whisper to them. All these different things. Good. Yeah, it's a really fascinating book. But yeah, it's called the Celestine Prophecy.
That sounds good. It reminds me of the Alchemist book. It's kind of
similar. Yeah.
That book is kind of more about.
I think I have some notes on it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, that book sounds good. And I feel like too, that's kind of a book where it might be easier to get across like some topics in like a fiction book versus a nonfiction book through like the power of storytelling.
Let's see, Celestine. Ooh, it's in my Google Docs.
Prophecy.
Sorry, the file you have requested has been deleted. How is that even possible? Why would I delete that?
They got in and deleted it.
Yeah.
But speaking of books, I've been reading Jackson Hall's self-discovery book, the one that he wrote and published, which is really badass that he did that. And I want to have him on the podcast so he can break down maybe some of the story. Mm-hmm. There's a lot in there. He even admits he doesn't put a lot, like everything in the book. So
yeah, you probably can't.
Yeah, you probably got to cut down. It's like, what's your life story? 200 pages?
Yeah, it could be.
But, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I like Jackson. He would be interesting. But I did find what I was trying to find earlier.
Oh, yeah. So let's circle back on the wagon.
They call it the 510K clearance process. So whenever the FDA is going through approval for new med device, new medicine, really anything, it goes through this 510K clearance process where 90% of med devices are approved through this pathway. which allows manufacturers to demonstrate that their new device is substantially equivalent to an already legal marketed device.
Okay.
So let's say you've got 10 different devices that already exist in circulation.
Yes.
And then I've got 10 more products that I want to use. So I go to the clinic and I'm like, hey, I've got all my products. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. That's actually pretty close to this product, and that's pretty close to that product. We don't need to do any testing. Here you go.
I can
And it's
see how they
straight
get
in
there.
your knee.
Yeah. I can see how they get there, but it seems like kind of important to test it out before you use it, right?
Well, I mean,
Hopefully.
based on the numbers that you shared of
Yeah.
how many people are freaking dying from, the wrong things happening, you'd think that there would be a little bit more scrutiny when it comes to the things that are ending up in the OR.
Like a misdiagnosis. Like if you're told that you need a knee replacement when you don't, like, it's just like, how does that?
And you have to get those things like joint replacements. You got to get them replaced again.
Yeah, that's screwed up. Because like I almost feel like I would trust a doctor more if he was exclusive. I could pay if I had to pay him like top dollar.
Yeah.
Like I don't trust going into the doctor who needs to churn and burn.
Yeah, he's got 30 clients to
Yeah,
see.
doesn't even look you in the eye when you're talking in the room.
Yeah, zero investigative discovery of your life. Is like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's what that dermatologist did to me. Dermatology is kind of a scam, I think.
Really, the skin's the biggest organ on the body.
Yeah, then
They
why
call
didn't
it an
she ask
organ.
me about my skin at all?
Because she's
I don't
evil.
know.
She's evil. We need to disbar her. Or
Well,
whatever.
dude, think about I've got a lot of people, I guess, friends from back in the day that were on Accutane.
Oh, that's like the acne drug.
Yeah, and it's like you got to sign like a waiver that you won't kill yourself before you before you get on it, for real, because it does cause like a lot of psychological and behavioral problems. Just to fix some like pimples, and if anything, it always makes it worse.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It should be the opposite. You're gonna want to live life like you don't want to kill yourself. You have no acne anymore.
Yeah. Would you rather have really bad acne or?
Jeez,
Um,
that one's rough. Right on the dome piece. I used to. I got
you
some
used to
bad
have
acne.
some bad acne.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. No, but I did, and know what I found out through trial and error and my own discoveries was that it all had to do with the food I was eating.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much garbage, processed garbage in the food nowadays and the snack supply.
Yeah.
So I would get that and my body would be so inflamed and my face would break out. It would be like 1 + 2 = 3. The brain is churning right now. It's getting fired up.
Yeah.
I got plenty of snot to give though.
Dang. Yeah.
So
I'm
you
reading
had
up on
friends that were on Accutane that were suicidal.
They
and-
weren't suicidal, but they told me about I mean, they may have been, but they told me about the process of getting on Accutane, and it's not an easy thing to do. Jeez.
I feel like that's just a classic example of let's just cut to the solution. Let's not try to resolve the problem.
Well, I think mainly it's like, hey, we do know you're right in that. People don't know if you've got 10 drugs, like how those drugs all interact with the body at the same time.
they don't.
Like, so you're going to put someone on this stack of things that is totally going to rewire how their body is working.
Yep.
And it's like, then you can't pinpoint necessarily what is causing X, Y, and Z and what is helping X, Y, and Z. And it's frustrating because, I mean, imagine being like a 18-year-old kid, like a 19-year-old kid, going to college. You've always dealt with like really bad acne, and you're trying to take some medicine to like feel more confident about yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're getting fucked in the butt by, these people, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah, and then you're it doesn't help, and then you still got acne on your face, and then you're isolated in your dorm room, and then the noose comes out. Yeah. It's probably happened.
Yeah.
Because why would they say that they're suicidal thoughts if no one's actually killed themselves when they're on Accutane?
It shows that this was in 2009 and 2010, a study that they ran. Suicide rates of 10 per 100,000 for individuals involved taking Accutane, respectively.
That's pretty low.
It's pretty low, but how many is too many?
That gets into like the conversation that we were having with Mitchell
Which
about
also, that's
raw milk.
just below the national average for suicide rate, really? 12.1 per 100,000 is a suicide rate?
Also, that makes sense. Like, okay, this person was on Accutane, but they killed themselves. You could see how, like, they were probably not in a good state to begin with because they're trying to take a drug to change, you know?
Yeah, but it's more of a medical disorder than it is, hey, I've got a pimple. You know, it's like, hey, I've got, like, face rashes. I'm bleeding.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like, it's not just like, hey, I've got a pimple on my cheek and on my nose. Like, it's, your face is pretty scarred.
So I wonder, like, what Accutane, is it just all your hormones that it's fucking with? And that's why people get all in their head?
I would assume so, because, I mean, kind of what you mentioned, the skin being the largest organ in the body, you know, anything typically ear, nose, and throat skin to me is like, hey, let's look at the gut. And so then you're taking medicine that is going to leach into your body some way or another, fuck your gut up.
Yeah, dude.
Which is only going to just accelerate some of the facial problems that you're dealing with.
It's like you're sitting in the doctor's chair. You're the doctor, and the guy comes in with Accutane. Like, if you're a good doctor, you're going to be like, all right, let's, like, actually dissect your diet.
Yeah, I mean, that's like what that...
Oh, I'd kill myself. That's bad.
Yeah, for you listeners
Just
who know
jokes.
anyone, I mean, look at that, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, people who are dealing with that stuff...
They'll do anything.
Yeah, it's like, and you don't blame them. So they're
I
going
don't blame
to...
them.
Yeah, that's the type of scarring that I'm talking about.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. That's fucking horrible.
Isotretinoin Accutane.
God, get that monster out of here.
Hey. Yeah, thank God I never really went through
Acne.
Never really went through a bad acne phase. Even with all the time I've spent in the gym, I've been pretty blessed to not have like bad skin, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's really good for you.
Yeah.
Except for
I'm
that.
better than you.
Except for that back knee that we saw the other day.
Yeah, popped it on your pillow. No back knee for me.
You pop one of those and it's like...
Yeah, those hurt.
Hurt.
What's this? You know this. I mean, you've experienced this.
Well...
Why do girls like popping pimples?
Oh. Saying I dated a pimple popper?
Yeah, it seems like everyone. They're like, oh, let me get that.
I don't know.
Like, turn around.
It's a weird thing. Like, picking scabs is another thing. I don't know why they do it.
Picking a scab?
Yeah. Psychopaths. I don't know.
7:20 in the morning, we're talking about picking scabs.
Yeah, that'd be like a... Ugh, yeah. Let's cycle off this topic.
Yeah.
Gross me
Well,
out.
I wanted to... we were talking about Caitlin Clark last night.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to pull up this list. I think Times just came out with most influential people.
She definitely has got to be on there for her clutch shooting.
So this will be kind of a good litmus test of where everyone's at in terms of like who they think is important.
Time Magazine's pretty good brand name.
I don't know. Is this ranked? Do they rank it?
Is it 100 people?
Yeah, I think so.
If Donald Trump's not on this list, throw it out. That's what you got to think. Why would he not be on the list?
All right, we got...
Is it ranked?
No, it is not ranked.
Damn it.
So there's already a lot of names I don't know. Javier Milei. Who is that?
Oh,
he's the Canadian guy, right?
No. He's the Argentinian president.
Yes, yeah, he's on there. He's on there.
He reversed their debt pretty quickly.
Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. So
Not
it doesn't
familiar.
really make any sense.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, RFK's on there. Megyn Kelly. JD Vance. Elon. Trump. Oh, and that Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum.
Oh, the Jewish Mexican lady?
Yeah, and then the freaking UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Cuck.
God. UK. Our fans in the UK, y'all are cooked.
David Muir. He's a journalist.
He's the guy who did the debates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bias debates.
He's the CIA plant.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl this year. Got to give him some credit there.
He's awesome.
Hosier.
Huh?
Yeah,
No, he doesn't deserve to be on the list.
Kristen Wiig. The old
I mean,
SNL. It's like, what did she do this year?
Is this 2016?
Adam Scott.
The golfer?
No, the guy from Severance.
Oh,
Kristen
yeah.
Bell's on there. Scarlett Johansson. Ed Sheeran.
What the crap?
It's like, what is it? Who are you buying off?
Was Caitlin Clark on it?
Oh. No. Joe Rogan. Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Blake Lively.
Influential.
Yeah, influential, but also a liar.
Yes.
Simone Biles. Serena Williams. They have Blake Lively under the Titans section.
What?
Yeah, that's weird.
Gabagoo.
I don't recognize the rest of these people. Larry Fink. Why does that name sound familiar? Is he the BlackRock or Vanguard?
Yeah. I think
Yeah, he's a
the
scumbag.
BlackRock guy.
Nikki Glazer
Oh, yeah. She deserves to be on there.
and Snoop Dogg.
She's funny.
Guess what it says, though? Presented by Pfizer.
Yeah.
And I just clicked on that ad. Damn it. How we chose the list. This is kind of interesting.
Did we ever talk about Pfizer's like advertisement on media?
No.
We kind of, well, I heard this opinion that they're only advertising on media to control that media apparatus' speech about them. Like you would think, okay, I'm going to advertise on CNN because I actually want my product to be sold. Pfizer is just advertising on CNN, so CNN is being paid heavily by Pfizer. So now they're not going to talk bad about their sugar daddy.
Yeah.
So they're doing it all across the board.
Which shows in 2024 they spent $3.3 billion on advertising.
Yeah.
Which is just like pretty insane to think about. Like you've got a drug company. And I think we've mentioned this before that like the United States is like one of like maybe two other countries on planet Earth that allow advertising from pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, when you hear that, you're like, why? Why us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why us?
Why us? We've been, go down the rabbit hole on that one. God.
Hold on, let me find how much Pfizer's paying CNN.
Oh, jeez.
What's that guy's name? Brian Stelter?
Brian Stelter, Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper's a CIA guy. That's what they say.
I don't know if I can find. Oh, well, Pfizer funneled $12 million to CNN Anderson Cooper.
There's got to be more. Oh, just to him?
It says Pfizer funneled. This came out in. This is from PolitiFact. I don't know how legitimate.
What's even real?
Article June 16, 2023 by Andy Nguyen.
Pronounced win.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What the fuck?
I heard this take and it made a lot of sense, right? So if we cut the advertising, if RFK can do that, and this is actually pretty interesting. So you cut the pharma advertising on CNN, all the major talk shows. that kills like a lot of their income. All
Yeah.
right, so they're not getting that same income. So then CNN now cannot keep Anderson Cooper on at that salary.
Yeah.
And all these like random people that are getting paid millions to do like a pretty simple type job. So now their salaries are going to be halved or whatever. And
Which
so
would be a good thing.
yeah, it would be a good thing. And then you got to think like, okay, like that business is not even worth like that much anymore. They're not getting that pharma money. So it cuts down on like the legacy media is going to be like, that might be the final like straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, I mean, their viewership is already significantly down. If you're getting a lot of their ad money from, the medical industrial complex that people are no longer trusting.
Yes.
Yeah, those shows need to go, like The View.
Oh my God, The View, dude. That's actually fun to watch because it's so ridiculous. Whoopi Goldberg.
I mean,
They showed the clip of like her and Trump. Like Trump comes on before he even wanted to run for president, and they're all like, "Oh, Donald Trump," and they're hugging him and everything. And then
now he's a rapist Nazi.
yeah, yeah, that's a bad combo.
Yeah,
that might be the worst.
Yeah,
that's bad, man.
What do you think is like your least favorite talk show out there? Least favorite and most favorite talk show. You had to watch one.
My least favorite is Late Night with Stephen Colbert.
I was going to say the same thing.
Because
he is just a freaking weasel.
Yeah. I kind of like Jimmy Fallon just because of SNL and all the movies I've seen of him. But Stephen Colbert is like, he's like so good at doing that job and like being like that. Like he's just slimy, witty.
He also did that, like he was singing that like COVID jingle. He's like, get the vaccine, get the vaccine. God, it's like, imagine you have a wife and kids at home, or hey, let's watch Daddy, and he's like, get the vaccine.
Oh my God! Pack your bags, kids.
Yeah, kids, go to your room.
Yeah,
lock the door.
Dad's coming in with the jab.
Oh my God!
Make sure to put your fake arm out. And wince a little bit so he thinks it's real.
Oh.
I'll take yours for.
Yeah. No, Stephen Colbert is, I'd probably say my least favorite. I've never thought Jimmy Kimmel was funny.
No.
And he's also one of those big sellouts too. He fucking fake cries on TV
he's
about
bad.
MS-13 gang members. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's bad. And then, I don't like him.
And he's just like,
all this stuff is.
It's
old.
also like a weird. I kind of go back and forth on this because there's definitely people that you and I like and look up to some degree. Joe Rogan's obviously kind of one of the first people that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And he is one of these media personalities at this point.
PBD,
Jocko, Brigham.
Sean Ryan.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. So it's like we're literally just on the opposite end. Like we think sometimes a lot of these people are crazy. Why are you going to go to a Stephen Colbert show? And it's like, well, we're going to go to a Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to see both sides, but
that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't feel like from our side that there's like this major like idolization and like it's just kind of weird. These people like fawning over Stephen Colbert versus like Joe Rogan's the type of guy you could like sit and have a beer with.
Yeah. Just chat him up and that's a good point. I think I don't know what's going on in their heads, but
you don't want to sit down with Rachel Maddow?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
She'd be sitting at a bar and you actually go behind her and like, excuse me, sir. You're like, oh.
Mr. Cuban. Have you seen the Instagram account Primal Resistance?
I don't think so, no.
This guy's account is sick. He basically will have like a clip on like, mainstream media, and he'll have this like mystery music going, and he's sitting on the couch watching, and he's like, and he walks over, he's got his shirt off, and he sits down in front of his computer, puts on his red lights, He's like typing away. And there was one about Wendy Williams.
Yeah, she's kind of weird.
And it was all about like, oh yeah, she's on this new diet, a vegan diet. And then it shows clips of her talking about how she doesn't eat any meat. And she's like a huge moisturizer girl. She's like, I love moisturizer. I'll rub it all over my hands. If you have a tub of it, give it to me.
Oh.
And then she's like, oh, I don't even go in the sun. I don't want to be sunburned. I sunscreen myself all up and down. And then he's typing out all the, like, what are the ingredients in sunscreen? And it's like he zones in on, like, one or two.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what is this link to? And then she's, like, passing out on TV, and her health's horrible.
Yeah, now she's, like, under, like, house arrest.
What?
Or, not house arrest. She's going through, like, a medical emergency. And she's, like...
Yeah. And then he did one with Michael J. Fox, the guy who's in Back to the Future. He has Parkinson's.
Yes, yeah.
And so he's like, nutritional deficiencies of Parkinson's. And it was like iron, B12, magnesium, all this shit that comes from meat.
Yeah.
And it's like Michael J. Fox's diet, and he's talking about he's on this new hybrid diet where it's like vegan fruit and this weird stuff, right?
Like before he got Parkinson's?
I think. Well, in the midst of it. Because I think Parkinson's is kind of like a, I don't know.
It's definitely like a long-term chronic disease.
And so this account is sick because it's just giving you, like, good info on that. And I'll have to send you some
It's kind of just like a fact-checking from the... Because people are going to throw out all these cool diets and cool words. And I mean, remember when the Impossible Beef was, like, massive? We were seeing it kind of everywhere. A lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah, the Impossible Whopper.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
You couldn't pay me enough to eat that.
No.
I literally would be bloated, feel like shit. Probably vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, so got some stuff written down because I know we're on a little bit of a time crunch. But, okay, so should we do off the leash segment? Trigger warning?
Off the leash.
Yeah, we got a little off the leash segment. This is our get canceled segment. So hopefully you guys like this type of topics.
Uncensored.
Okay,
Raw.
here we go. WNBA. You've been given $20 million to start a WNBA franchise. Where are you building a team? What is your team name and any strategies for increased viewership?
Didn't realize I was going to do a business plan at 7 a.m.
I think we should start with team names. That's probably the funniest part. And I wrote down some. So.
All right. Rattle me off.
All right. So we got the Lysol Lemons.
Okay.
We got the Caitlin Clark lookalikes. The trans Tanyas. And the half-court housewives.
Ooh. The half-court housewife?
I think I like the Lysol Lemons.
The Hawaii what was it?
The half-court housewives.
It's a freaking tongue twister. Hawaii half-court housewives.
Yeah.
The San Diego sandwich makers.
Dang, get canceled.
Hey, it's off the leash.
Off the leash.
San Diego sandwich makers. That would be my team.
Yeah, like if you could, because there's only like 14 teams, right? In the WNBA.
I think there's maybe a little more than that. It's not. It's definitely not more than 20.
So you would need a big amount of money and then choose a location.
Yeah, you got to choose a location where people really don't have anything better to do.
So you need to choose a location up north in the old liberal capitals of the America.
I'm trying to find out.
We could put a team in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
That would get a lot of funding.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of Americans living over there now to support Zelensky.
Yeah, well, let's draft a team over there. Maybe draft Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner?
Yeah, Brittany Griner.
Who did we trade for her?
We traded the Merchant of Death. The Russian Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
For her weed vape in Russia.
God, what a fucking loser. Trying to see.
I guess we kind of had a WNBA conversation last night. It was kind of interesting. Just with the fact that the draft just happened. And we got Haley Van Lith being drafted to the Chicago Sky. And then there's Paige Buckers on the Dallas Wings. And our friend Mark was telling us that game, was it the Chicago Sky and Dallas Wings and Indiana Fever, that they were going to play in the Dallas Wings arena, which is the UTA Stadium, right?
Yeah.
But they're anticipating it to be like a massive
already,
event.
yeah.
So they're moving it to the AAC, American Airlines.
Where the Mavs and the Stars play. And so I was getting some numbers on Caitlin Clark's pretty much status when it comes to the WNBA. And she was a part of some insane viewership numbers.
Jeez, really?
Most watched games in 2024. She was on...
Are those millions?
All of them.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, now what's the average viewership of a game?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because, yeah, let me look that up.
I mean, it says the Fever and the Sun, averaged 2.54 million viewers for the most watched WNBA game since 2000.
Damn.
And that's the Caitlin Clark effect. It says WNBA TV ratings on ESPN is 1.2 million average viewers per broadcast.
Okay, I'm getting that it's 657,000 viewers per game.
See, fake news.
2024, it says, this is from Forbes, it's saying that it's a 36% increase from the previous season, which is...
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, 1.18 million viewers on the Fever. Yeah, because even like... It's for one thing, like when you watch WNBA and you see the games and you're like, okay, this is kind of like, people have always said the WNBA is more like fundamental basketball versus like the NBA. It's like crazy talent, ability, like Steph Curry shooting, Jalen Green like jumping like 30 feet in the air, just dunking the ball. It's like crazy stuff like that. But, you know, when you watch Caitlin Clark, she is playing a brand of basketball that is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
That, you know, that video of her playing against the men's practice team in Iowa. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's wild. She's
cooking.
Cooking.
Cooking those guys. And they probably...
Yeah, I wonder what they... they know ball.
I mean,
she's
that girl.
And so it shows that whenever they played in the playoffs, they played 2 playoff games. They lost both. The first one was 1.84 million. The second one was 2.54. As soon as they lost, the next series drew an audience of 920,000. And then, meanwhile, the game 1 of the Sun Lynx, which is the finals, 650.
Yeah, no one cares about anything other than Caitlin Clark.
No one cares.
So then if you're the WNBA, either you need to create another Caitlin Clark.
Well, I mean, you're getting some of those already with the Haley Van Lith, with the Paige Beckers, with Juju Watkins once she gets back from her ACL.
Are they like similar in play style? They're shooting threes, like
Juju was pretty. I mean, she was dropping like 30 points a game.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know, because you also got to think like, how will all this translate to the WNBA? Because I feel like the collegiate
it's different.
It's
always different.
It's always going to be pretty different compared to the professional. But yeah, it's grown the game for sure.
It's probably a good thing. You know, we've talked about it before, but they lose money every year, and the NBA subsidizes their league.
Yeah.
With payments and stuff. But, you know, if they can actually become profitable because of Caitlin Clark, I mean, she needs to be the WNBA logo.
Yeah. And it's going to take her some time.
What would it be? Her just like like sideways, like shooting.
Yeah. Yeah, that would honestly be pretty badass.
That would be.
But
sick.
no, like you think about how influential Steph Curry has been on you as a
100%.
basketball fan, as a
Yes.
basketball player wanting to get more involved in the sport. I mean, shit, you're gonna go to the game on Sunday, playoff game. Like, I feel like it would be a really great thing for one, just like American women in youth sports to have someone to look up to. You know, a transcendent figure in the sport.
Yes.
And imagine also being Caitlin Clark, where this immense amount of pressure, she just rewrote a sport that everyone had kind of just wiped off.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's racial conversations about it because she's a white woman playing in a predominantly black woman's sport.
Yeah.
She's straight, which she's a minority in that sport.
That's true.
And so it's
I
like...
didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what... What's that girl? She went to Washington. Lefty. Kelsey Plum.
Oh, yeah.
She talked about that in her first few years in the WNBA about how uncomfortable she felt because, like...
In the locker rooms?
Yeah, because she's dealing with all these, like, lesbian women. And
it
was just, like, a weird... Yeah, she's, like, it's just different. And she's straight, so...
Is that because, basically, like, most women aren't that aggressive and, like...
I don't know. I don't know what the psychology on that would be.
Like, why do more lesbians end up playing basketball versus, like, why aren't they? Because there's not more lesbians than there are straight women, right?
In WNBA?
Well, in the whole population.
Oh, yeah.
But then they congregate towards one sport.
Let's see.
That's an interesting, like, psychology question. It's got to have to do with something in their brain, their hormone levels. If I were to diagnose them.
A sociological phenomenon.
Yeah. Are you asking chat?
I'm asking chat, and then I'm going to do a Google search and figure out the Kelsey Plum quote.
Okay, I'm going to go blow my nose real quick. Keep the conversation flowing.
Kelsey Plum. Let's see. Kelsey Plum, lesbian. It's probably not the right words to type in, but we're going to see what happens.
I just freed the nostrils.
What?
What are you saying?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to... By coming forward... Is Kelsey Plum gay? Can't really... It's not really telling me.
Well, what you were saying was that she felt uncomfortable. I mean, it seems like she's straight.
Yeah, let's see. Kelsey Plum. Gay.
Is Paige Buckers gay?
I don't think so. 77 WNBA players that have come out as gay, lesbian, trans, or non-binary. Goodness.
Non-binary. That word needs to be deleted.
Sue Wicks. I can't really... This is going to take a little bit more research.
That's all right. We don't gotta...
Estimations suggest that approximately 40% of WNBA players identify as lesbian or LGBTQ+.
40?
40%.
So it's less than half. So they are not the majority.
Ooh.
But it is higher than average. I guess you got to think about it. Like, if a chick's in the WNBA, she's going to be, like, hyper aggressive. She
Yeah.
needs someone that's more hyper aggressive.
Mm.
And so she's probably not going to be able to find that easily.
Candace Wiggins, former WNBA player, made comments calling the WNBA toxic and claimed gay players bullied her. It can be quite hard. I didn't like the culture inside the WNBA. Without revealing too much, it was toxic for me. My spirit was being broken. Me being heterosexual and straight and being vocal in my identity as a straight woman was huge. I would say 98% of the women in the WNBA are gay women. It was a conformist type of place. There was a whole different set of rules that the other players could apply.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So she says someone who played in the league is saying, like, yeah, everyone in here is gay.
Jeez, dude, that's fucked.
So maybe it wasn't Kelsey Plum who I was listening to talk about that, but
Might have
pretty
been her.
much similar comment. It was like I almost felt like I was being pushed to become this, and yeah, it's like
You're probably being hit on all the time. Yeah, that would be so weird, actually.
like imagine Caitlin Clark, like Iowa, not New York City,
Yeah.
and you go in and you're working with all these different people and different rules, and
Oh, God, yeah.
you got Brittany Griner.
They're staring at you in the shower.
Yeah. And it's also fucked up, man. People were taking shots at her last year.
Caitlin?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Angel Reese and that other freaking bozo for their team.
Diana Taurasi?
No. I mean, she got humbled by Caitlin.
She did get humbled, yeah. She's like, it's different in the dub.
Yeah. But it's like, that's during the season, it was a lot of the conversation of like, this is why the WNBA isn't growing, because you finally have a player that people are so excited to watch play, and you're just fucking trashing her.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't deserve this. Like, it's going to be different for her coming from college. And like, Caitlin Clark has never said anything.
No.
And she's taken all this fucking heat, especially when they start including her race into it.
Yeah.
And she's been a total champ the entire process, which props to her, because like, when you're the best and you got people like talking down to you, making everything personal.
Yeah.
Like, everything in your being is probably wanting to go out and be like, fuck you.
Yeah, she definitely has like a good foundation. Like, what'd you say? She's like whispering that.
What'd you say?
But she's got a good foundation, because I've seen clips of her, like, these girls like pushing her around on the court.
Yeah.
She kind of she doesn't get back into that stuff. She kind of takes the high road.
Yeah.
Which is that's a classy thing to do.
It is. It's hard. It's hard to do that.
It is harder to do that. Yeah. It's easier to like let that emotion take control.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe in sports, emotion's probably not the best thing to utilize. At least what I've heard from like top level UFC guys in interviews, they're all like, I put my emotions like underground. I don't want them to come up. Like, I try to stay as calm as possible, because any sort of emotion, it almost feels like when emotion happens, it's like you don't have as much control.
Yeah.
If you let that emotion come up, and it's like affecting your control level.
Yeah, your focus, everything, yeah.
And that could be in anything, really. The emotion becoming like a problem. But then there's like good emotion. I guess it's how you use it. You have like a swelling of emotion of like, oh my God, like I have so much, love or whatever for this cause. Like, I'm going to put this into like my work, and now I have so much more energy and endurance to go harder.
Yeah.
Like, who was it? The John Silva fighter, UFC fighter we watched, Bryce Mitchell. I saw a clip of him, and he grew up and he saw his mom like being raped, like multiple times, and being abused. And so like, I mean, we don't know how that changes a person, but like you
can only imagine that there's a fire burning deep inside.
Exactly. And even like Kawhi Leonard, quiet guy, kind of weird guy, like his dad was murdered.
Really?
Yeah, when he was young. Pretty sure. And it's just like it's kind of hard to have that level. It's so interesting. I don't know. But then you go to like Steph Curry, like he grew up with his mom and dad, and brothers, and just huge.
I mean,
believer
LeBron
in
James
God.
had no father figure.
Yeah.
Just his mom, Bronny.
Yeah.
What did I saw? I think Karl Anthony Towns had to like take his mom off of life support.
Oh yeah.
And then, like Draymond made some comments about it and was talking some mess. You see anything about that? Gosh, you know anything that's going on? Let's see.
Did see some stuff about Paul Saladino did a video about methylene blue.
Oh yeah.
How he doesn't like taking it and it's bad for you, but he kind of explains something that's kind of interesting, that it's a mono. Fuck, I don't even know this word. Mono Exodus 2 inhibitor, which basically that is inhibiting the breakdown of serotonin in your brain. So he's kind of telling people like, hey, look, this methylene blue, it's not actually like helping your mitochondria. It's actually a detriment to it, but you feel better because your brain is not breaking down the serotonin. You're basically getting more serotonin in your brain. So it's like an SSRI pill.
Well, yeah, I think we talked about that being like one of the bigger
like cons of the
cons of it is serotonin sickness.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a trendy thing that popped up. I don't even know where it came from, but
I think it was maybe Gary Brecka.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like
I heard about it on Chase Hughes on Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard it from different people.
RFK takes it.
Yeah.
So it's like, apparently it turns your brain blue too.
Really?
But like then there's people, you can have multiple people kind of in the same realm of like self-improvement health, and they have different opinions, which I think is great. Like Paul Saladino, not methylene blue guy. But then you talk to like, and he's a fucking doctor. And then you talk to, Rogan's taking it, RFK's taking it. It's like, it's crazy. Guys.
Yeah, so Draymond, Karl Anthony Towns missed the game against the Warriors, and Draymond Green show with Baron Davis said Towns missed the game because he didn't want to face Golden State wing and former teammate Jimmy Butler. And then Green was asked by a reporter after Thursday's game if he had seen the reaction to his comments and if he knew that Towns said he missed the game so he could be involved with the tragic death of a close friend. And Draymond's like, no, I didn't. Show must go on. Draymond's a piece of shit. So is Steve Kerr.
Dude. Draymond Green is a Hall of Fame player. Like him or hate him, if he's on your team, you're going to love that guy. Because he's like the guy that's going to go get in the other dude's face. Like, he's the bully.
You need a agitator.
And he's the enforcer, too.
Yeah.
And his emotion runs so high that it tips over where it's actually negative sometimes.
Yeah, he makes I feel like he makes more boneheaded plays than he does good ones. Like they cancel each other out.
I disagree, but there's also the thing that, like, if Draymond, like, you see him after there's like a bad call or whatever, his head's like bobbing, he's screaming his head off at the ref.
He's got the longest whistle ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a referee and you know that's how that player is, psychology would say that you're not going to, like, call that much on him because you don't want to deal with the fact that he's going to create a scene, he's going to get in your face, he's going to be barking at you. And then you eject him, and then it's like he hates your ass.
So what?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, do you think all the refs are like in that mode of like, fuck him. Like, I'm just going to call whatever.
No.
There's refs that are going to be like, I don't want to be a part of the game.
Well, it was like that ref that threw out Luka in that game a week ago. Luka was talking to a fan, and he had already received a technical early in the game, and Luka hits like a 3, and he's kind of on the side of the court backpedaling, and the ref is now coming back up the court with him too, and the fan was like behind the ref, and Luka said something to the fan, and then the ref goes, and Luka's like, I'm talking to this dude.
Yeah.
And it's like these refs get too emotional. They get too involved. You see the Mavs got eliminated last night?
Yeah, they did. And Desmond Bain got him.
Let's finish with a quick Mavs organizational suicide.
Oh, I did see something about that. I saw a clip, or not a clip, but a transcript between Nico Harrison, the Mavs VP general manager, and ESPN reporter Tim McMahon. Did you see this?
This was like pretty recently, right? Because he held a press conference.
Yes,
I think earlier this week, but they couldn't even allow people to record, which is just freaking weak. Hey, I'm gonna have a press conference.
They're protecting
3
him.
months after the biggest trade, and
they're protecting him.
So what did Tim McMahon find?
So he questioned Nico. He said, "Okay, Nico, before the championship run, you said there's a 3-year window that the Mavs have. You have Luka when he's 25, 26, 27. And this is your championship window." And this is Nico's comments earlier. And so he's like, how come after, year 1 of this window, when you have Kyrie and Luka, you make it to the championship and then you trade off like the player who got you there? And he kind of just avoids the whole question.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's like, well, time will tell if the trade is right, and people will make their opinions. You have the right to your opinion. And he's like, but I'm just questioning your logic when you said that you have a 3-year window to do this thing, and then you trade away the player who gets you there. And he had nothing to say.
It's embarrassing.
So, in my opinion, it seems like it's not even his decision. It seems like it's the owner's decision. There might be a bigger play at, bigger chessboard that is going on. Because it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Other than, maybe, did Nico trade Luka to his friend Rob Pelinka, and then he knows he was going to be fired, and he just wanted to, give them a reason to fire him next season?
Yeah, there's... Any way you look at it, you can't find a logical or rational decision about, this was an equal trade. We got our value, because everyone in the game is like... If you got all the players in the game, be like, holy shit,
Who are you going to pick? The top 3 players, if you could take a player. I mean, Luka's in the top 3.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, that's no... Anthony Davis will be a Hall of Famer.
Great player.
Great player. But he's older. He is a little bit more injury prone, despite, last couple of years playing a lot of games. But it's just, they're not even in the same freaking ballpark. I mean, Luka... Yeah, it's Luka magic, man.
Yeah, Luka is going to go down as one of the greats, one of the greatest players of all time in this league. And you've seen it. He's already done amazing things, and that's the part that sucks as being a Mavs fan. When Luka's sitting on the bench, Lakers playing the Mavs, and, tears are in his eyes watching the montage. And I got emotional, dude. Yeah. I got fucking emotional. And you just see the pain because, he loves Dallas. He grew up there, and having Dirk as a mentor, being another European player who came over and changed the game, won a championship with the Mavs. Dirk stayed with the Mavs his whole career.
Considered maybe the best European player of all time.
Absolutely dirty fadeaways, heart of a lion. And then, Dirk's now not associating with the Mavs. He's taking a step back. And they're like, Dirk doesn't want to be associated with them.
Jeez.
And how quickly you could just destroy
an entire fan base in one of the biggest markets in the world. Dallas, we've got 4 professional sports teams here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I learned a little bit more about Dirk after watching that Netflix, or it was like a Amazon Prime about his kind of upbringing and he talked a lot about like the struggles of like moving to America and like just not having his home and finding a few good people in the organization to really kind of take him under his wing. And
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, Mark Cuban being one of those guys. The coach at the time, I can't remember his name. And it's like he was bought into Dallas because they bought into him, like not only as a player but as a person. And I can't really imagine the type of like betrayal that Luka felt, because he said that he threw his phone, broke his phone. Yeah, I think that came out yesterday, maybe from Rachel Nichols, because he was shocked. Like no one notified him. And then I remember sitting down there and being like, no way this is true.
No one believed it.
Yeah. And so gave heart and soul, took the team to a championship, lost to a great Celtics team. I think everyone knew or felt like the Celtics were going to win that series regardless of what Luka did. And then just the following season, it just, we're going to get you out. Yeah. And people are like, that. And then it's that same comment of like, well, yeah, we had our championship window and, we defense wins championships. And they start making all these comments that like are pretty much backstabbing Luka even more about like, yeah, he was overweight, his conditioning wasn't good, his defense wasn't good. We're just not going to win with him ever. I'm like, motherfucker, you just got to the championship game. Yeah. And now you gave him away for PBS logo and
bag of chips.
Yeah, and so it's just that will go down. There's been a lot of bad sports trades and signings and contracts and whatever. I'm sure when we're 56 years old, like Luka will have multiple championships. He will be a Hall of Famer. And what will the Mavs be? An afterthought, a blip on the radar.
Yeah, and there's some part of it that...
And I'm not even a Mavs fan. Like, I don't really like the NBA. I like Luka. I'm not like a diehard MFFL.
Dude,
you talk to those people and like...
You're talking to one of them, brother.
Yeah. You're a Warriors guy.
Okay, well, I'm a Steph guy, Warriors guy, but, when Luka was coming up, I was balls deep in the NBA. Even so much so that, my password to all my shit... I shouldn't even tell this, but Luka was in the thing.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And literally, that's my password for everything, so I'll cut that out. But it's like, we knew he was a generational guy. Like, he won a championship when he was fucking 18 in Spain, the best league in NBA. He won the MVP. And, the Mavs are going to be forgotten. It's tragic. Mark Cuban selling his majority ownership. Plays a big part because now he doesn't make the basketball decision. The other owner does. Just these new
who doesn't fucking know anything about
the casino guys from Las Vegas or whatever.
Which that's even more disheartening. It's like these people get put into these positions where you've got fan bases that are so emotionally involved.
Yeah, well, that's one of the hardest things to value is like the goodwill value of a company. Yeah. And all its intangible things, like all the people that love it, that'll ride or die for you. Like, can't really put a number on that, but they fucking depleted that.
Yeah. I mean, to get the Fire Nico chance.
Nico's on.
I mean, it was almost sweet justice for the Mavs to not even make the playoffs. Yeah. For Luka to come in his homecoming, drop 40 in the first three quarters. Yeah. And, people are cheering for him. And they're like, fire, Nico. Yeah. The entire game. Because they're like, dude, we had our golden child and you gave it away for nothing.
Yeah, it's evil. Fucking Nico.
And that's like also kind of a weird... It's not just an American phenomenon. It's global. The investment we put in a lot of these sports figures. You kind of think of like soccer and Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and Pele. And then you got... LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, all these huge figures that people are just like Steph Curry. Yeah. Like people are obsessed and kind of rightfully so. It's a transcendent person in their sport. You can't play with that.
Dude, so
Can't
now
play with that.
it has to be like some sort of backdoor plan for like them to.
The
like,
rumor was the Vegas move. I don't know how legitimate that is. The owner wants to. They're
set it
involved
up.
in like casinos and gambling, and
Yeah,
they probably feel like Texas is
far
going to be
away.
extremely delayed when it comes to approving sports gambling statewide. So like, hey, let's go. This is a business. We're
Yeah.
business people.
Let's
We're
sell
not
it.
sports people. Let's turn this into a business.
Yeah, that's probably right. We'll see what happens. Like, bummer.
Yeah.
But the Warriors are gonna beat these Rockets.
We'll see about all that.
Going to the game on Sunday. I'm super excited just to see Steph play. I want to say I saw him before, but I can't remember because I know me and Austin went to a game. It might have been Golden State Mavs, but in my mind I have no memory of it other than going to the game wearing a Steph jersey for my birthday. But seeing him again is gonna be sweet, and yeah, hopefully it's a good matchup, good game.
Sunday night. We'll see you on the big screen.
Yep, for me.
All right.
All right, good episode 50. Salute.